His word is awesome, and His word is news. We can find more real, true news in His word today than we can on the mainstream media. Today I'm going to take a look at King Abdullah and Jordan in relation to the deal of the century and passages in Ezekiel. On the Middle East Media Research Institute, or MEMRI.org, MEMRI.org, it says Jordanian King Abdullah II has made several visits to the U.S. lately, during which he was reportedly advised about the details of the plan and consulted on Jordan's possible role in it. Ahead of the public announcement of the plan expected to take place soon, there has been considerable apprehension about it in Jordan. This is due to leaks published in the Arab, Israeli, and international media, according to which Jordan will be expected to take part in resolving the Palestinian problem in ways that could change its character and demography, such as naturalizing Palestinian refugees, forming a confederacy with the Palestinian Authority, or becoming an alternative homeland for the Palestinian people. For example, the Lebanese Al-Akhbar Daily reported on April 5th that as part of the deal, Jordan will be expected to naturalize about 1 million Palestinians in return for $45 billion. Remarks made by King Abdullah during the visit were reported by the Palestinian daily Al-Quds, according to which the king had stressed that Jordan's position on attaining peace has not changed. Peace must be based on the international resolutions and on two states existing side by side in peace and security, Israel and Palestine on the June 4th, 1967 borders with East Jerusalem as its capital, and on a just solution to the problem of the Palestinian refugees. This article goes on to say further down, Al-Ghad columnist Marwan al-Muashar wrote on March 20th, 2019, "The deal of the century is without a doubt an existential threat to the Palestinian cause and the Palestinians, for it is an attempt to take over Jerusalem, the Jordan Valley, and the occupied territories where the Israeli settlements have been established. The fear is that the U.S. will try to persuade Jordan to undertake the administrative or political government of the Palestinians, thereby denying the Palestinians' right to establish a state on their national land, including in Jerusalem. For Jordan, the deal of the century is nothing less than a real existential threat that is intended to eliminate the Palestinian cause, even at Jordan's expense. I believe that Jordan is fully aware of this truth and of its direct implications, namely that the two-state solution is being officially eliminated by the U.S. administration and Israel." The articles also claim that as part of the talks about the deal of the century, Jordan was offered economic incentives for supporting the deal. Marwan al-Muashar wrote, "Regardless of Jordan's close relations with the U.S., it will never agree to take part in projects that threaten its existence, no matter what economic enticements are offered it." And further on in the article, King Abdullah, Jerusalem is a red line. We are being pressured, but the answer will be a resounding no. King Abdullah knows that consenting as part of the deal of the century to any proposal that breaches the standard framework of the two-state solution, such as naturalizing Palestinian refugees in Jordan, will severely threaten his throne and Jordan's stability, and therefore expresses firm opposition to such proposals. The looming announcement of the deal and the leaks about its details published in the Arab, Israeli, and Western media have prompted him to clarify several times in the last few weeks that he will not consent to any such proposals. After the secrecy surrounding his latest visit to Washington sparked rumors that he meant to soften his position on Jerusalem and the Palestinian issue, he took an even firmer tone. In a meeting with Al-Zarqa dignitaries on March 20th, 2019, after his return from Washington, he made unequivocal statements saying, "I will never change my position on Jerusalem. We have a historic duty towards Jerusalem and the holy places." He admitted that he was being pressured and reiterated that Jerusalem is a red line for me, and I know that the people are with me on this. The Hashemite state has a duty to defend the Islamic and Christian holy places. It is true that we are being pressured, but our final answer will be a resounding no. Several days later, in a meeting with military commanders, the king, dressed in uniform, said, "Jerusalem and the future of Palestine are a red line for Jordan. I don't think I can make it any clearer. As a Hashemite, how could I possibly relinquish Jerusalem? That is impossible. It is a red line. I say a resounding no to relinquishing Jerusalem, to Jordan becoming an alternative Palestinian homeland, and to naturalizing Palestinians in Jordan." Criticizing those who questioned Jordan's firm position on these issues, he asked, "Why are these people talking about the deal of the century or about an alternative homeland for the Palestinians in Jordan? How? Do we have no say? We are the Arab Jordanian army, and we have a history in Jerusalem and Palestine. We have a say and have a position." Then, on April 28, 2019, at www.americanthinker.com, we have an article titled "Trump's Deal of the Century and Jordan as the Palestinian State." The Beirut-based newspaper Al Akbar 2 weeks ago published a report which made no mention of a Palestinian state, but did say the plan involves the immigration of 1 million Palestinians to Jordan and regional cooperation and financing. As such, it is out-of-the-box thinking. It is Trump's intention to look to the Palestinians for consent rather than the Palestinian Authority. But his suggested plan will require the approval of King Abdullah of Jordan, who is adamantly against it. Thus, even this plan will end in failure. It is for this reason I do not believe that it will be tabled in June, as Kushner suggests, unless the circumstances change. Mudar Zahran, Secretary General of the Jordan Opposition Coalition, and I have been promoting the Jordan option for 10 years now, which is premised on the belief that both Abbas and King Abdullah will never accept a plan acceptable to Israel. Thus, I argued that Abbas and the PA must be marginalized and Abdullah must abdicate and be replaced by Mudar Zahran, a Palestinian, as leader. With the election of President Trump, we went into high gear. So this article is suggesting overthrowing King Abdullah and replacing him. Another coup in the Middle East to set up our own man that will agree to do the deal of the century. The Jordan option is a two-state solution in which Jordan is the Palestinian state and Israel the Jewish state, with the Jordan River, the border, separating them. All Palestinians will be given Jordanian citizenship and be invited to emigrate to Jordan. According to this plan, the PA will wither away and Jordan will replace it as administrator of Area A in Israel. Going on in the same article, again it is April 28, 2019, keep that date in mind. It is fair to ask, what difference will this make? We will wake up to see a new ruler in Jordan who will base his policies vis-a-vis Israel on cooperation, not confrontation. Zahran will accept that plan once it is tabled, whereas the king won't. The PA, the Muslim Brotherhood, Iran, and the EU will do their utmost to prevent this from happening, but they will be powerless to stop it. Zahran will grant citizenship to all Palestinians and will invite them to return to Jordan for social security, health care, and education. As a result, Israel will have no obligation to offer them a path to citizenship should Israel annex the land on which they live. President Trump will continue to cut off funds to the PA and United Nations Relief and Works Administration, as he has been doing. He will also continue to undermine the anti-Semitic UN entities, such as the UN High Commissioner for Refugees and UNESCO. He has already neutered the International Criminal Court. Trump will also redefine who constitutes a refugee entitled to UNRWA services, thereby greatly reducing their numbers. Again, that was at theamericanthinker.com, April 28, 2019. Now we move to an article from May 7, 2019, The Plot Against the King of Jordan, at jcpoa.com. USA.org. King Abdullah II of Jordan confirmed that a plot aimed at undermining his rule failed. Apparently, the plot was in anticipation of Trump's deal of the century. The Jordanian army fully supports the king. After the plot was uncovered, the king dismissed a senior director of the Jordanian Secret Service and some of his senior advisors. The Kuwaiti newspaper Al-Kabas revealed on April 18, 2019, the conspiracy to destabilize Jordan in the run-up to the publication of President Trump's deal of the century. Less than 2 weeks later, King Abdullah started to take action to flush the conspirators out of the royal palace and the Jordanian Mukhabarat Secret Service. On May 1, 2019, the Jordanian news agency Petra reported that King Abdullah ordered the retirement of General Adnan al-Jundi, director of the Jordanian Security Service. The king appointed General Ahmad Husni Hassan in his place. So evidently, as the American thinker suggested there would be, there was a plot against the king of Jordan to dethrone him in anticipation of his opposition to the deal of the century. Where are we in prophecy? Here are just a few excerpts out of the verses Ezekiel 21:18 through 27. And the word of Yahweh came to me, saying, And you, son of man, appoint for yourself 2 ways for the sword of the king of Babel to go, both of them coming from one land, possibly the United States, and place a signpost, put it at the head of the way, to the city. Appoint the way for the sword to go to Rabbah of the Ammonites. Rabbah of the Ammonites, according to Wikipedia, is the current city of Ammon, Jordan, the capital of Jordan, and to Yehuda, into the walled Jerusalem. For the king of Babel shall stand at the parting of the way, at the fork of the 2 ways, to practice divination or control. He shall shake the arrows. Is that a threat of war, of missiles? And to you, O profane, wrong one, leader of Israel, whose day has come, in the time of the crookedness of the end, thus said the Master Yahweh, remove the turban and take off the crown. This shall not remain. Exalt the humble and humble the exalted. Overthrown, overthrown, I make it overthrown. It shall be no longer until he comes to whom it rightly belongs. And that, of course, is Yeshua. And I shall give it, says Yahweh. He shall give the land to whom it rightly belongs, and that is Yeshua. Keep an eye on Jordan while the media and mainstream administration are pointing at a possible confrontation with Iran. We are not hearing anything in the mainstream media about the attempted ousting of King Abdullah in the formerly peaceful country of Jordan, have we? Is a major Jordanian conflict that also leads to the overthrow of Israeli leaders as suggested in Scripture on the horizon? Time will tell. This news story stemmed from my study of the Noahide Laws. If you'd like to watch the video on the Noahide Laws that recently was put online, please go to Lamb Network's YouTube channel to the His Word Heals playlist. Blessings and shalom to all of you and everyone in your homes.